Welcome to Brothers Forge Gaming. Here we have Madden 2002 on the Nintendo 64. Now, if you've watched our Madden 2001 review, in that video we talked about doing this video, so here we are. Real quick, I did a season as the Green Bay Packers with you-know-who, Brett Favre, and got all the way to the Super Bowl. So you guys are in for a Super Bowl treat right here versus the San Diego Chargers. Well, when in Rome. So we got Doug Flutie. You know, this is before the reign of
Let's get this one started.
Philly Riv.
Team captains are at midfield and we're ready for the coin toss.
Now, we've also done some numerous other reviews on the Nintendo 64 era football games, such as Quarterback Club. I believe we did a Blitz review, and let's see, one other one of that era, some different Maddens. Now, that brought about a search to find the ultimate football game on the Nintendo 64, and I believe we have done just that in Madden 2002 on the Nintendo 64. This is a really good example of the best the system has to offer as far as graphically, playability. Now, without the Nintendo 64 expansion pack, though, however, the game is a little bit choppy and laggy. So I do recommend you play this game with the expansion pack. Now, like many of the early football games, there's little to no sound aside from the blaring whistle, which you can turn that down. Not the whistle itself, but you can turn the field volume down, which kind of sucks because then you don't hear all the stuff in the field. So if that whistle bothers you, you can turn that down, and then like turn the announcers up, which is what I have done. Unfortunately, the Nintendo 64 memory card is so small that you unless you have one of the bigger ones, you can't save the season and the options, so you basically have to adjust it every time, which was kind of a downside to that.
First and 10.
So as you can see here, we're on defense first, watching to see what the Chargers can do. Oh yeah, Darren Sharper, man, he is the frickin' man. The Green Bay had a great secondary during this time.
Second and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line.
One thing I didn't exactly enjoy in this game, maybe I just hadn't quite figured it out yet, but it is the Nintendo 64, so the controls are already a little bit weird. Like the C buttons are turbo and strafe and you know, counterintuitive. You could probably map out your own controls if you took the time, or at least adjusted it to the presets that they have. But defense just really wasn't, at least playing on the line, like it was kind of just mundane. Like I could swim through and get some sacks and stuff every now and then, but as far as it goes, like you're better off if you don't want to really play defense. You just kind of wait for the AI to do its thing, and then you switch to the player at the right time and make the defensive move in which you can do. So what was that, turnover on downs? So already it's not looking good for the Chargers. We got Brett Favre driving from the inch line of his own end zone goal line, completing passes. You know, Brett Favre. So it took a while to actually get the controls down in this. The passing is, once you figure it out, it's kind of like, it's not precise in a way, but it's precise in a way that isn't precise, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like you just kind of got to know where to throw it. If you try to, you know, some of it's right on, like if you lead your receiver, you know, some of that passing is right on, but some of those slant passes and different things, you're almost better off throwing it behind your receiver in this game than in front of him. Like right there, I think that was a super lucky pass and grab right there. See if we get a replay. Oh yeah, the man. Iron Man himself weaving it in there. That was a pass. So, yeah, what I did like about this game was the passing. The running, again, there's quite a few moves you can do. Maybe I didn't have the greatest back or anything. I mean, he's a good back, solid back in this one. You know, I want to say that's a mod green. Yeah, he's decent. You know, he's no Barry Sanders. But you know, the Green Bay was more of a passing kind of team, and they didn't have the greatest defense in the world, but they did have a great secondary. So it was like, you know, they kind of just kept you from playing from behind. That was their strength. You know, that's how they build their team, and their team is kind of that way today as well. I mean, they do have some better linebackers with Clay Matthews and some of those guys. They had A.J. Hawk there for a while. I don't think he's there anymore. But anyway, they had a really solid defense for a while there. But yeah, anymore it just seems like they're an offensive powerhouse that has a really good secondary that keeps you just running, ground and pounding, playing from behind, having to eat clock, you know, while they just toss it down your throat. Man, whew, that didn't sound like that coming out when I said it. So anyway, ignore that. So yeah, as you can see, we're driving down the field pretty steadily here. This is the Super Bowl. So I wanted to just give the whole experience. This video does go the entire length of the Super Bowl. So there's some turning points and some suspense. But for the most part, it's what you're seeing here. It's Brett Favre taking command, doing his thing. Look at that drive summary. Not too bad. A 91-yard drive. So, I believe I did, what was it, 5-minute quarters. You can probably go down to 3-minute quarters. Doesn't seem long enough. Shit, maybe I did 3-minute quarters. Usually do the 5-minute quarters in Madden because it just gets too long. Other than that, oh, fumble! Got the jump, strip, dive, tackle. So that's pretty good. So back on offense. While Brett Favre does his thing, we're going to cover a little bit of the this or that here. Now, if you guys watched our Madden Challenge football video, that was a breakdown of the different years of Madden and which years we're going to use in our Madden Challenge. That video breaks that down. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, do so. It's in our Are You Ready for Some Football playlist. And also in our live action forge, and it's a recent upload as well, so it's out there. Take a look if you're into Madden, if you like football games and you like co-op play, competitive co-op play. It's a really cool idea. Like I said, check that video out, get some more information on that. Also within that playlist is some of the other football reviews we've done on different systems. Sega Super, we got Nintendo 64. Basically that covers it. Maybe something else I'm forgetting. I don't think we've done a PlayStation 1 yet, but PlayStation 2, Madden 2012, probably going to do a review on that, so keep an eye out for that. And here we are, driving in, see if we can get that in. Oh, outside toss. Now, I usually like to pound between the tackles, but every now and then you got to throw a toss in there.
First and 10. The receiver goes in motion.
Now I know we're looking at Madden right here. We're looking at Madden on the 64. I did grow up playing Tecmo Bowl. I was more of a Tecmo Bowl player. Didn't really ever get into Madden on the like Super and Sega when I was growing up. I was playing a lot of like action RPGs, strategy games, stuff like that. Not so much sports games. For whatever reason, they just weren't all that maybe appealing to me at the time. I mean, I'd played them, but I wasn't diehard into them. Sometime in, I want to say, around the 2002-03 era is when I kind of got into Madden for a few years. I had a lot of fun with that, playing. Started playing on GameCube, I think, for whatever reason. Everybody else was playing on like Xbox though. So when I tried to go play on Xbox, the GameCube controller and the Xbox controller are like 100% different. So it's tough to translate between the different systems. And actually, part of the reason why I wanted to do the challenge this way with the different systems, because you know, one person can get really good at Madden on, say, Xbox one specific year, but then you go, okay, well, come play this one on GameCube from, you know, a completely different time, and they might not be as good at it. So it just kind of levels the playing field in a way, and at the same time it brings a value to some of these older games that are otherwise, you know, people are just trying to get rid of. That wasn't very productive kick return. Couldn't quite figure out the kick returns, the running. I was mostly focusing on Brett Favre. I mean, can you blame me? Getting those bullet passes around and just having a good time passing the ball. Man, he can gun sling it. So I haven't played it. I only played this particular game with the Packers. Like I said, I haven't tried a run team or a different quarterback. I just really like Brett Favre's style, so I went with that. But all around, guys, this is an excellent game. We're coming to the close of the second quarter here. I know it looks pretty one-sided, but there is a little bit of suspense coming up, so stay tuned if you're enjoying yourself. We got TD right there. Not the TD you're used to, but I'm actually not sure who that is. I don't remember a T. Davis. Maybe I'm just drawing a brain freeze on that, but yeah, I do not remember that player. But man, he was one of my top guys. I know I had some other receivers on this team that I try to hit. Yeah, like Antonio Freeman. I want to say there's Green is on there somewhere. No, right there, there's something I do like in this game, especially when you're starting out. You get an option to mulligan, so you get 3 mulligans. It costs a timeout and a mulligan, so you have to be able to do those things. Because right there, you know, I screwed up, and then I was like, maybe I'll mulligan, and I was like, nah, you know what, whatever. And then I think I thought about it right here too. Oh, look at that 88 club! You see those guys on the sideline? We'll get to that a little bit later in the video, but man, that 88 club, it goes back further than you think. Check this pass out from Doug Flutie. Man, look at that. Frickin' on the money. It's funny, on the replay, they do not show the any sideline animation. Right here's a really weird glitch. Check that out. At a minute, they always call a timeout. I don't know which year of Madden they stopped doing that on. I think I was playing 2016 and they didn't do it. But I want to say up to maybe like 2013 or 14. There's a computer glitch. It always calls a timeout at 1 minute. It doesn't matter what's going on. I believe that's if they have the ball. I can't say so much on defense. I don't remember. But across many different years of Madden that I've played, they always call that timeout at 1 minute. It's like clockwork. It's really weird. So that's just one of those interesting quirks that you find by playing these games. Is that they call a timeout at 1 minute. You know, maybe that's just like a strategy, like a basic coaching strategy that's programmed into Madden, or maybe that's Madden's deal. Oh yeah, putting him down. I don't know who defensive end 94 is supposed to be. He's one of my better guys. I think he was a rookie this year also. So some baller, somebody that I can't remember from this era. So let's see if they can come up with a score here before halftime. Oh, he hit him! Nice! Now, those are some of the top features in this game, is the replay and then the announcing of John Madden and Pat Summerall. Oh, pick it! Pick it! So that puts a stop to their advancement on the goal line there, and also ends the half. Now, I didn't really get any halftime show, I don't think. I think they just put the ball down and it goes right to that. So limited in a sense on what you get as far as halftime entertainment goes, and in between quarter stats or anything. The game is very basic. Now, in a sense, that's a good thing as well, because it is so basic that it just plays. It is a great pick-up and play style game. something I did talk about too with this game is that it's the newer Madden style, so you're getting the newer features and nuances of the game, but it's running in the old engine, so you don't have to worry about player progression and things like that, which makes this game really fun to just play. Like I said, I've done a whole season here, and it was just all fun. You know, I didn't have to worry about this or that. Like I said, I just focused on passing with Brett Favre. You know, I didn't have to worry about getting my, you know, you got to mix it up, obviously, to get your plays in there. But, you know, my running back did a good job. He had a lot of touchdowns and stuff, but not a lot of carries, not a lot of yards. And each receiver, you know, I think I had like one guy I always threw it to. So, yeah, as you can see there, 9 attempts per season. Not a great average, but it gets the job done. It keeps the defense honest and lets you run play action. I think this might be it right here. Yeah, this is the play. Oh, check that out. Okay, right here we have the 88 Club. Those of you who don't know what the 88 Club is, it's you know, legendary receiver Michael Irvin. He came up with the 88 Club, and now I'm familiar with it from watching NFL Network. He's a broadcaster on there, analyst, whatever you want to call him, spokesperson. Totally hilarious. If you guys haven't watched that channel, some of the programming on there, the original networking programming is awesome. You know, you got guys like Primetime Deion Sanders. You got the nicknameless Marshall Faulk. You got Kurt Warner. You got Rich Eisen. You got Steve Moochie Mooch. Just doing they do some pretty funny stuff. Now, you know, the other shows are pretty good too. The Fox one I like with Terry and those guys. That's pretty entertaining. But I do prefer the NFL Network for my sports news because the way they present it is enjoyable to me. But anyway, as I was talking about, the 88 Club, it goes deep. It goes all the way back, as far as I know, in all of these games on the Nintendo 64. On the guy, every guy on the sideline is numbered 88. So, and that goes back, like I said, to every 64 version of Madden I've played. I haven't gone to see if it is in the 16-bit era or on the Sega era or on the PS2 era, although I'm sure it is, and we're going to find it. We're going to go over that, and when we find it, we're going to find it. But also, I was playing some of the newer Madden, and it is when you're playing the Madden Ultimate Team, you get like unlocks, you open packs and stuff, and when you get the jerseys, like because you can unlock newer jerseys if you want to change it up for your MUT team. The number on every one of those jerseys, at least the ones I saw, is 88. So I don't know how far this goes back, how deep the 88 Club goes. If Michael Irvin's even aware of this 88 Club trend happening all the way back in Madden 64 era games. So who knows? If anybody has any information on that out there, I'd be interested to hear it. It is something that's just very entertaining to me. So yeah, but that's the 88 Club news. As I'd mentioned in the Are You Ready for Some Football Madden Challenge video, I do prefer playing the Sega 16-bit era issues of Madden over the Super Nintendo version. Just something about playing sports on a Sega, it just feels right. Oh, look at that pass, baby. Let's get a replay. Oh yeah, doing some celebration. Love that commentary with Madden. So good. Yeah, so at this point, I want to think there's maybe, a little bit more of San Diego maybe goes on another drive, but it's just going to continue to be a shellacking here. Like I mentioned, I wanted to show. Oh, he got laid out. I just wanted to show it's the Super Bowl in its entirety. Did a whole season to get here, so I figured, hey, why not? Oh yeah, look, they get a stop. I have to punt. So here you go, guys. There's new life. It's not over yet. I mean, I believe it's the fourth quarter, and there's only 5 minutes to go. But you know, anything can happen. Oh, did I miss a tackle? Oh, he's going wide. Oh, but he runs out of bounds. 88 Club. You can see it again there on the sideline. So that's just pretty interesting. Like I said, if anybody has any information on that, let me know. Put it in the comments. Yeah, because that's just, to me, that's very interesting.
Good tight end.
Oh, hits him.
Pass is left. Complete.
Yeah, as I was saying, I like the 16-bit era Madden on Sega Genesis. Just like us, just because it feels right. No really other reason than that. It just seems to play a little bit better. It just feels more realistic to me.
The backs are lined up in an eye.
Now, there's some other games on the 64 as well. As I'd mentioned, there's a Quarterback Club, there's the Blitz.
The pass is complete.
And now, those games, not that they're bad, but it's actually, this is the first year of Madden where I saw, or any of the football games for that matter, if you notice, the players come on and off the field. So, whereas, and I believe I mentioned it in a different review I've done as well, is that in a lot of these games in this era, the players just stay on the field, and you can see like this glitch. It just changes their numbers instead of bringing them on and off the field. So to me, that just is an element of a game that just makes me feel like it doesn't give a personal feel to the game. Like, you play these football games, these fantasy sim games, you develop characters, you build a rapport with them, and then when you just see them basically be the same sprite but switch their number or jersey instead of coming on and off the field, it just gives that gives it more of a realistic feel. And this is the first and only year on the Nintendo 64 era football that I have seen do that switches the players in and out as like a real football game would go. So they just took that little bit of extra step with the programming. Oh, he gets it. They're making a comeback. D-flute. Oh, he was stepped out of bounds? Oh, man. But yeah, going back to, I believe there was a time, maybe it was in the early 2000s or maybe even like 99, NFL Blitz games were very popular. And there's actually, I want to say it's Madden 99. It actually plays a lot like Blitz. So that was one of the differences in the year. So that's another really good year of Madden. I might have to revisit that one and take a look at that. But it plays a lot more like an arcade-style football game. Like an NFL Blitz kind of game. They must have been trying to contend with them at that point. So they made a year of Madden that played identical to Blitz. So that's, if you like those kind of football games, that one might be more for you. But this year of Madden, the Madden 2002 on Nintendo 64, for me, is the way to go. It has the best of all of the mechanics and things I like about Madden without the detriment to your team of player progression. But you do still get those modern advancements. You get some of the newer teams. You get Brett Favre. I mean, I say newer teams, and this is your 2002. So, but, like I said, I'm used to playing Tecmo Bowl. So we're talking 92, 93 rosters, with the greats of that era. So it's kind of nice to get the greats of this era. So to me, this signifies that. It has some of the greatest players. Oh, they get it! They get a touchdown!
The pass, touchdown.
And I think they're onside kicking. I'm trying to call an audible. Audibles were tricky in this one. Oh, but my lineman sure hands 69 Mercer gets it. So here's the 2-minute warning. And again, guys, yeah, this is just probably going to run out the clock here, but you never know. Stick around if you want to see what happens.
Good tight end.
Another cool feature, too, about how many times have I hit that play? The triple coverage. Another cool feature, too, about these older Madden games is they still feature Madden on the cover. Not this particular one, but and they also have Madden as an announcer. So I missed that in the newer Maddens. They mixed around the announcers there for a while. It seemed like they had some different guys doing announcing, different combinations of team. My favorite current announced team is Chris Collinsworth and Al Michaels. I wish they would do a Madden with that team. I don't recall there being one. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't believe I got that in any of the games I played. There's also some other good announcement teams out there. Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, that's another good one I wouldn't mind hearing. So hopefully in this new upcoming Madden, we'll get some of that. But I do miss John Madden's one-liners. Man, that guy has some zingers, and they are hilarious. There aren't a lot programmed into this one. I feel like there's maybe a handful of things they say, and they say them over and over. One of my favorite ones, I don't know if it's in here, but it says something about, he's throwing lasers all over the field or something. That's one of my favorite Madden ones. Oh, shit, they don't call it a comeback. They're making a comeback. 1 minute to go. Let's see if D. Flutie, Mr. Wheaties box, can get there. Can he get there? Oh, man. Is that Rodney? No. That's Harrison. Is it? Oh, I don't know. Is it? Maybe. Who knows? It's tough to remember all these old names and old rosters, but if that's Rodney Harrison, oh, man. Watch out. Unless that guy was an offensive player. Who knows? Oh, look, there's an 88 clubber tight end. He's going out for a pass. Check him out. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Is he going to get it? Nope. Oh, they go deep. Well, their chances are not looking good.
Yeah, and all you have to do to make a guy miss is tip it.
So again, there's a lot of differences in these Maddens. It seems like every few years they change it up a little bit. Most of the ones on the Madden on the 64 stayed similar. This one just has the most. This is the cleanest features, the most to offer, the best all-around football, in my opinion. Oh, that was cool. They've got, you can do like sideline tiptoe grabs, things that you weren't able to do in most of the other games, but the overall play and feel of it feels pretty much the same. So whatever year you go with, if you don't mind some of those little details I mentioned, they're all play about the same.
Pass is right. Second and 10.
So hope you guys have been enjoying this. I know it's the full-length video, so if you guys have been sticking around this long, I want to say thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. Some of the other videos we've done on Madden Review are not this long. But like I said, I wanted to bring the whole experience. This is the Super Bowl, guys. So I hope you all are getting ready. Football season's approaching. We've got preseason coming up in, what, a few weeks here. I'm sure the hype is all up, and right now I've fallen behind on my programming. I haven't had as much time to watch the network as I'd want. But I'm going to get on that very soon. I'm getting excited for the real season to start. I do enjoy watching the preseason as well. Get to see some... Oh, there it is. You get to see some of the up-and-comers. Last year's preseason was awesome. We got like Dak Prescott and those guys, Ezekiel Elliott. We got to really see them shine and be like, wow, those are some great players. And we had a lot of breakout stars last season. The Tampa Bay guys, they did really well. Was that Winston and who's that other receiver? The baller, Evans or something. Guy was balling. And, you know, some of the guys on the Saints. Oh, player of the game, Brett Favre. Brett Favre. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the Madden Super Bowl in the year 2002. Quickly after this, I'm just going to show you some of the year-end stats to show you what's available. As far as I could tell, the franchise mode is only one season. So it's more just like you play a Super Bowl and it's over. You don't have to worry about any of the in-season stuff. It's another thing I like. So here's some of the weekly stats you can get, typical of Madden. You know, you get the weekly good players. You get your yearly awards. There's not a lot here, but this could be due to the fact it's on the 64, or they just started implementing this to the game. But, you know, you get your basics. You get your MVP, and that's what's important. As you can see right there, it's Brett Favre. I mean, what else? What did you expect? I mean... Did you think anything less? And then you get your all Madden team. Oh, look at that, Brett Favre. So anyway, you know, and look at some of these guys. You get a great list of players here.